Let's talk about Utah telemarketing laws and regulations. First, don't forget about the feds. Both the Federal Trade Commission and Federal Communications Commission each have national telemarketing laws that call centers need to follow, no matter where they are and regardless into which states they call. But what about calling to or from Utah specifically? Well, Utah has a number of telemarketing rules. First, the Telephone Facsimile Solicitation Act, the Telephone Fraud Prevention Act, and a more general consumer protection law, the Utah Consumer Sales Practices Act. What are some of the specific behavioral rules? Well, similar to the national telemarketing laws, it is a violation of Utah state law to telemarket numbers on the national do not call list without an exemption, like permission, for example. Utah also has a calling time or curfew law. It's illegal to call Utah except between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. measured on the recipient's local time. It's also illegal to call on any legal holiday or on any Sunday. Utah also requires that telemarketers allow for the transmission of accurate caller ID information. You're not allowed to intentionally block that. Utah has some dialer rules. For example, it's illegal to robocall any line with a pre-recorded message, whether it's a landline or a cell phone, without an exemption, such as prior express written consent or an established business relationship. Utah also has mandatory oral phone disclosures. For example, telemarketers must disclose that purchasers have until midnight on the third business day following their receipt of the goods to cancel and receive a full refund. Before calling into or from Utah, telemarketers also need to pay for and obtain a Utah telemarketing license. As part of that license, telemarketers are also required to place a state-specific surety bond. That's normally in the amount of $50,000, but sometimes is either $25,000 or $75,000 in certain cases. You obtain that permit from the Utah Division of Consumer Protection, and you will pay the state of Utah $500 annually to keep that license in place. Don't worry, you don't need to place cash for the full amount of the bond. You can obtain that $50,000 surety bond from a number of different insurance companies who will just charge you a small annual premium to keep that in place. The Utah Division of Consumer Protection can fine violators for up to $2,500 per individual violation. That adds up. So review Utah telemarketing laws and regulations, ensure you comply, and make sure you get that permit before you get on the phones.